this real quick. Okay. All right. So half the team on the way out is on Southwest. Half the team is on United. That's the way they broke us down. So we have adults traveling on both flights. Again, I will email this out and then I will give you like team assignments and how that's going to work for us. But none of that really matters in the sense of we all arrive and depart at the same time. So we depart within minutes of each other. So example, the United flight departs at 5:33 a.m. and the Southwest flight departs at 5:10. So that means all of us are still going to be at the same time. We're all leaving from Woodland at the same time. We're all getting on the same shuttle bus. We're all heading to the airport together. The only snafu is on the way back. But on the way back, people tend to not want to ride a shuttle bus. They tend to be wanting to do their own thing and leave and travel. That's why I was talking about luggage, specifically those wanting to wait. So I'm going to set up a second meeting to talk about luggage because there's too much going on right now. And I know that's just going to be a point of contention. So I'll set up a second meeting when I can actually have the room to talk about this. Okay. Let me just pass on these things that are critical. Huh? They could. That'd be awesome. Okay. Some travel information. Again, I need copies of everyone's passports. There are some that have sent them and some that have not. So you know who you are. I'm not going to name that off right now. Let's see. Arrival information. You're going to be required to deplane and required to pass through immigration before you get your luggage. There are multiple lines with many customs agents, so your group will more than likely get separated during this time. Our suggestion always is that one adult or family goes through first and gathers everyone else on the other side of customs. Just don't block the way of others from passing. It's also a good idea for us to keep one adult in the back until the entire team has gone through. We're not going anywhere until we're all through because we all have to get on the same bus to get to the seminary. So there is no need for, oh, I got to get through. The team has to get through. A lot of everything that we're going to do is going to require a team mindset. If you're thinking about what you're doing and how it benefits you, you're already in the wrong mindset because we got to get through safely with all of our kids and all our adults. That's the goal. So I'm pretty laid back, those that know me, except when we're in travel mode. When we're in travel mode, I'm a little bit of a tyrant. I'm not gonna lie. The military part of me comes out because I want to make sure that everyone is safely gets from point A to point B. That's my responsibility. I take it seriously. I love you all in advance, but if you do something that is going to jeopardize the safety of somebody, I'm going to come to you direct. There will not be, I'll pull you to the side, but it'll be a one-way conversation because we can't afford for anything to happen to any of these kids, as well as any of you. So we have to be in that mindset. Couple things with that in mind. So we'll have a team, an adult that'll be behind, so everybody's cleared customs. This will ensure that nobody gets left behind if something comes up. Since we're a larger group, we'll do that in a smaller process. We'll send them in groups. We want to make sure we have a manageable, so that's probably like 6 to 7 per adult. We have enough adults to do that. So that's my suggestion for us to do that. Things to remember when we're going through, and we'll brief all this again on the 5th at Woodland. And I'll have a printed copy of this that I'll send to everybody. We are visiting Costa Rica as visitors on vacation or holiday. You're not going to put workers, you're not going to put staff, you're not going to put business. If you do that, that will slow down the entire process for us because as missionaries, you're always in there as visitors. That is a standard thing. That is not well, we're doing business for the church. Nope, we're there as visitors in that sense. When you're questioned by immigration, by customs, short answers is best. If you don't understand, look for an adult that speaks Spanish. I'll be running around putting out fires. You're going to be asked for an address where you're staying. I'll have that printed out and small enough to put in everybody's passport. So you'll be able to say that to the best of your ability. I'll even do a small class on how to say your address. Let's see. That we're going to be staying at 150 meters este de Los Tanques de AIA, San Jose, Costa Rica. That's actually where we're staying. We'll print that off so that it's small enough to go in there. Once you clear customs, you're going to proceed to the luggage area. Then you retrieve your luggage as you would on a domestic flight. However, you have to take your luggage to an X-ray machine, and then they're going to scan it again. Follow the people, place your checked and carry-on luggage, including backpacks on the belt. Nothing goes around the X-ray. They have to make sure everything is scanned. So if you're trying to sneak something in, that's when you're going to get caught, if you hadn't got caught yet. Just throwing that out there. That's not what you want to do, because once you're in a foreign country, they're going to pull you off to a small room and we're not going to see you until you're deported. So let's just be honest about that. Once everybody has their luggage and clear, then we will travel together to our transportation area. Once we've cleared, we'll go outside. We'll head on to the end of the sidewalk at San Jose Airport in Costa Rica. There'll be somebody there with an orange Encuentro mission shirt outside, and they'll give further instructions where we get onto the bus. I have Lewis is our point of contact for the day of travel. If there's problems with our flight, immigration, or luggage, he'll be the person. I also have him on WhatsApp. The WhatsApp is what they use in Costa Rica to communicate. So if you want to download that before we leave so that you can talk to people within the team, we'll create a group message chat for the adults that are using, that are getting an international plan. I'm not requiring anybody to get an international plan, but we are not allowing students to travel, to use their phones once we're in Costa Rica, because we can't verify if they have an international plan, and I'm not going to take a kid's word for it at that point. Reason why? When we get back, if they don't have an international plan, it'll be a $5,000 phone bill, and they'll want the church to pay for it. I've already gone through this before, so that is a no. So that's what we're doing. If you're traveling with your child, I'm not going to tell you that you can't do that, that they can't use your international plan. But there will be times when we're at the seminary where all phones will be put away and put in a secure location. There will be no need for them. We won't have phones on the work site because, again, no need for that. So there will be times where we'll have things in lock boxes for that purpose. We will have at least 2 phones on site with us at all times that are international plan for emergencies. So again, it's one of those situations where you don't want to lose your phone. You don't want to get charged for stuff. We don't want kids that are coming without parents to run into that as well. Does that make sense? Cool.
Yes.
Awesome. All right.
Ron, I just have a quick question in regards to that. So I have an insulin pump that is connected to my phone, and if the two aren't connected together, I'm going to have alarms going off. So
that's a health concern. You're going to have your phone on you at all times.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's easy. All right. Let's see. Okay, housing and linen. Most teams we're going to be in a dorm setting. They do have mattresses with shared space, shared bathrooms. Seminary provides a sheet, a blanket, and a pillow. If you are bougie and you need something more than that, then you got to bring it with you. Everybody does need to bring their own towel. Towels will not be provided, but again, they do provide us bedding. It's warm enough that it's not too hot, it's not too cold, that a sheet is all you really need.
Yes, I have all
and I brought my portable, tiny travel suit, sleeping bag. It's really lightweight, but it works too if you want to bring something extra. When I went there the first time, I just brought a backpack. I had everything I needed, but for this trip, we're going to be there longer than that. So, we're going to allow luggage and all those things because we did pay for that. So, okay. Male team members, need to bring one plastic jar of peanut butter, unless you are allergic to peanut butter. Female team members need to bring one jar of jelly. This is from Encuentro. Put the plastic jars in the check luggage and they'll collect them on the first day. All right, currency exchange. Official currency of Costa Rica is colones. However, most places do take the dollar. Using credit card is preferred method. Obviously, when you're traveling, you want to contact your credit card company and let them know that you're going to take. There is ATMs. They have exchange rates that are better than the exchange shops that are there at the airport. I used it. I got way more money that way. So if you have international ATM, most people do now, you can do that to get your money into colones there at the airport. And then you won't need much money except for souvenirs and licky chewies, in other words, snacks. There is because we're staying at Sendas, right across the street is a grocery store. So there's definitely access to additional food and stuff like that for those that, oh, I didn't like the meal today. So we can go get something or whatever. We'll make concessions to that. The church that we're serving, they actually do worship at the seminary. Their church is operating out of the seminary's chapel. So the work we're going to be doing is at the original site, which is the pastor's parsonage. That'll be the only construction work that we're doing. They have asked us to do 3 phases of ministry. One, all that happened at the same time. First is for parents, adults, is conflict resolution in the home and what scripture says about anxiety and all those things. So luckily I've taught a curriculum on that. So we're going to have that translated and we'll be teaching that for youth group 7th through 12th graders that are coming to our ministry site. We'll be running sports camps. And for the littles, 6 and under, we'll be running a VBS in Spanish. So those 3 will be happening at the same time in a day, as well as at another part of us will be doing work at the parsonage. That's how we'll be split up. So we'll work that out. The parsonage is less than 10 minutes from the seminary. So it's not very far. I mean, it is really, really close. So they're still working out how they're going to, because we're supposed to do dinner with the ministry community that we're working with. But we'll do breakfast, lunch, and all that stuff. Lunch is obviously sandwiches. If you haven't picked up on them telling us to bring peanut butter and jelly. So if you're allergic to peanut butter like I am, you got to figure something else out, which I will. All right. Some random things that I wanted to remind people when I gave that brief, you may have forgot. Water is safe where we're going to be coming out of the tap. It is potable. It is to the standards above US standards, so you won't get sick. Bottled water is available to purchase. Insect repellent and sunscreen is important. With DEET, sunscreen, obviously, because we're going to be working outside sometimes. Electricity, you don't need any special adapters. They use the same power source and power plugs as the United States. Wi-Fi is at the seminary, but with the amount of people staying, it may not work great all the time. So if you have a hotspot and you have to get something out, you might want to get on your hotspot for that. But there is Wi-Fi for those. And usually if you're doing work in the evenings, like when people are about to go to bed and stuff like that, you'll be able to shoot stuff through. I was able to send an entire video presentation that I had to do for seminary at night on their Wi-Fi when there was a whole bunch of people there. So it's timing. So if you procrastinate, wait to the last minute to do whatever you're doing for summer school and all those things, and you need to get it out in the middle of the day, you're probably going to be in trouble. So, okay, snack bar. There will be a snack bar there. They do take dollars and Venmo. So when you return, if you want to do that, if you don't want to go to the grocery store, they also will have Encuentro swag available at the snack bar, including t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats. They can be used US cash or Venmo. Tools and supplies, if we're bringing any excessive tools and supplies, which we are not, we have to donate them to the working witness coordinator at CENDAS, who's named Bruce Wilson, but we're not, our site hasn't requested anything like that. So we don't have to worry about that. Medical information, each team should plan to bring a small first aid kit. So we'll be bringing that, two, because we may get split. So we'll have two first aid kits, one for the parsonage and one for the ministry site that we're doing. We'll have, obviously they'll have doctors in residence, and we have a doctor on our team who will be out doing medical stuff. But, the medical clinics, we have a medical person going with us that will be conducting wellness clinics around the district for the local people. So they'll be doing stuff like blood sugar, blood pressure levels, eye exams, dental checks, and more. They've been asked to bring their own stuff, so that's a separate thing. Just personal medications, to think about GI medications, because even though the food is safe, the water is safe, somebody may have a sensitive tummy. So Tums, Alka-Seltzer, Prozoli, I can't pronounce that right. Analgesics and acetaminophen, ibuprofen, naproxen for pain, antihistamines, Allegra, any kind of generic over-the-counter non-drowsy second generation antihistamines, multivitamins if you need them, prenatal if you need them, children's vitamins if you need them, cold medicines, electrolyte packets, eye drops for kids that have trouble sleeping, melatonin. These are all things that were suggested. They're not my personal list. They are not required. Obviously, you need a toothbrush with toothpaste, mosquito repellent with DEET. That is pretty much everything that's on this sheet that I will email to you once I have the ability to do that again. So that may be Tuesday. And I'll send out the Greek version of the flight itinerary, because that's what it is. And then I'm going to decode it and put it together so that we actually have a listing, that everybody can do that. I will send out next week a itinerary for traveling to on the 5th, what the day on the 5th is going to look like, and itinerary on the way back. When we get to Costa Rica, there won't be an itinerary, because we're going to be on mission and we're going to go wherever God tells us and what the people need from us. Because the issue that we ran into with our site is they had a pastoral change and an issue with their church being closed. So we're having to adjust, because that congregation still is in need. The parsonage still needs to be repaired, but we're, being semper gumby at this point. We're being flexible and doing whatever God calls us to do. So just have a flexibility was the first thing. I didn't say it, but it says flexibility. This is from Encuentro. We cannot stress enough that you go over with your team and yourself the idea and the concept of being flexible. With a group this large, and we're talking about week 2 is like 900 people, unfamiliar place, things are bound to come up, from travel, housing, food, weather, interpersonal issues, conflict, some kind of irritation situation is bound to happen. Be patient, flexible, and just plain nice. That'll go a long way if, and more likely when, something unexpected happens. Just remember why we're going, the spirit of what we're going. We're going as ambassadors of Christ. So even if you're having a bad day, remember that that still has to represent Christ, whatever that looks like. Okay. Above all things, that's really what we need to do. Oh, I got a hand raised. All right, go ahead. Yes. You're muted still. I can't hear you. I don't know why I can't hear you.
I had to leave the meeting twice and go back when I tried mute myself.
Here, unmute again. Yeah, I can't hear you. That's weird. Never mind. We'll talk about it when I get back. All right. Any other questions? Yeah, you can text it. Yeah, you can send it in the chat. There's some stuff in the chat. Let's see. All right.
Will there be allergy friendly foods for the lunches, or should we prepare for that if we have food allergy?
For the lunches, we're going to have to, when we get there, we'll get stuff. If you need to bring stuff, I would suggest bringing some things, but there is sufficient grocery stores that have access to like gluten-free and peanut-free stuff. When I was there, I saw it. So I can eat sunflower butter as an example. There was sunflower butter there. So I was like looking for stuff for people who have allergies. All right.
Okay.
Okay. For now, that's all I got. I got 9 minutes left on this call, and the Wi-Fi again, like I said, it's crazy out here. So, and all right, we will have another meeting. Let me see. Let's shoot for next Friday. Does that work for everybody?
Yeah,
Does
around the
later in
same time.
does later work or earlier work for you?
Well, I work till 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so anytime after 4 o'clock works for me.
How does 6 sound? Is that too late? Just give me a thumbs up. 6 too late? If it's okay. Up, down, up, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Richie, is 6 okay? Okay. All right. Okay, so we'll do 6. Yes.
Did you see the other comment in there? Someone's asking about the excursion date.
I will get you that information. I'll send that out. There's an itinerary that I'm waiting on that has the excursion date. I believe it is the day before we leave. Excursion date is the day, so I think it's on the 12th. Because that's when everything's done. I usually do the excursion. The excursion happens one of 2 dates. It happens the first full day that we're there or the last full day that we're there. That I know for sure. It just depends on how it got scheduled. But everybody will have it on the same day. Okay? All right. So I'll see everybody the 28th at 6 p.m. All right. I'm going to close
Okay,
in
thank
prayer.
you.
Heavenly Father, just thank you for this time. Thank you for the patience with the challenges of technology, Lord. We just ask that that everybody continue to be in grace for each other and understand that we are doing your work, and so that's the heart and the mind that we need to be in. Lord, we ask that you give us that wisdom, that you give us that grace, that you give us that patience and that peace that allows us to navigate in this world. We ask that you bless all those that are preparing for this trip, all those that are already traveling right now to set up everything for us and receive us. We ask all of this in your most precious name, the name of Jesus. Amen. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. And like I said, I will try to send this out right now. If it doesn't work, I will send it on Tuesday. Bye.
Bye.